Far North Queensland is built on the reputation of its coastline, sun, open skies, and a sense of absolute freedom. Tourists travel here specifically for this stillness. Toyah Cordingley was a fixture of that landscape. A 24-year-old local known for her work with rescue animals, she was someone who felt entirely at home in the region's wilder spaces. Wangetti Beach was one of her favorite spots. On the afternoon of October 21, 2018, she drove there with her dog for a routine walk along a familiar shoreline. This environment creates a specific psychological effect. The beauty of a remote beach suggests peace, but it also ensures isolation. In these spaces, the lack of witnesses provides a window of opportunity for violence that is rarely present in a city. Toyah arrived at the beach at 1 p.m. By 5 p.m., her family realized something was wrong. Calls went to voicemail and texts remained unread.
As darkness fell, her car was found at the beach access point. Her keys and her dog were still there, but Toyah was missing. The search ended the next morning. Near the dunes, searchers noticed a patch of disturbed sand. Beneath it, they found Toyah's body. This happened on a Sunday afternoon on a beach used by local families every weekend. Finding a victim buried in the sand transformed a destination for relaxation into a permanent crime scene, replacing the area's sense of security with a new awareness of the surrounding isolation. The official investigation quickly identified signs of a violent struggle. Forensics and defensive wounds showed Toyah fought back with everything she had. Investigators focused on the sand displacement near the dunes. The killer hadn't just attacked her, he had spent the time and physical effort required to bury the body. This detail is significant. An offender acting out of pure panicked impulse usually flees immediately. Crime scene concealment, however, suggests a level of calculation. By burying the victim, the killer prioritized delaying the discovery of the crime, a choice made specifically to secure the time needed to disappear. Police launched a massive search for physical evidence. They reviewed mobile phone data, analyzed DNA samples, and CCTV from every surrounding road. But in the first weeks, there was no arrest. The case fit the profile of a stranger homicide. These crimes occur at the intersection of three factors: isolation, opportunity, and a total lack of witnesses. Without a pre-existing social or digital link between the victim and the offender, there is no traditional motive to follow. These are statistically the most difficult cases to close because there is no trail of shared history. When the physical evidence at the scene doesn't lead to an immediate suspect, investigators must look for behavioral changes in the community, waiting for someone's post-crime actions to reveal their involvement. Rajwinder Singh was a nurse and a family man. On the surface, his life was defined by stability and a profession centered on care, providing no obvious indication of a violent streak. The investigation pivoted when police discovered Singh abruptly left Australia for India just hours after the body was discovered. In forensic psychology, this is consciousness of guilt. Abandoning a life without notice is a behavioral confession, an attempt to outrun an impending investigation. DNA would eventually provide the forensic anchor for the case, but it was Singh's immediate relocation that gave investigators their direction. While the science sat in a lab waiting for a match, the behavior told the police exactly where in the world they needed to look. Locating Singh in India took years of international cooperation. He was eventually arrested and extradited back to Australia to face trial. Inside the Supreme Court, the prosecution presented a case built on two pillars: the DNA found at the scene and the undeniable timeline of the suspect's flight. The jury returned a guilty verdict. For Toyah's family, it was the end of a 7-year wait for a name to be held accountable. A verdict offers a legal conclusion, but it cannot repair the impact of the crime. For those who knew Toyah, the court's accountability exists alongside a permanent sense of loss. This case changed the national conversation in Australia. It became a focal point for the conversations surrounding the safety of women in public spaces and the reality of stranger violence. The conviction of a professional nurse, someone trained to preserve life, served as a disturbing reminder of the gap between a public persona and private violence. It challenged the idea that predatory intent is always visible. The resolution of the case wasn't a matter of luck. It was the result of a family that refused to stop asking for answers, and investigators who spent years tracking a lead across the globe. Toyah's story reminds us that while a crime can be committed in a moment of isolation, the pursuit of justice is a collective, relentless process. A suspect can cross an ocean, but eventually the facts catch up.